others? Dilachara? Malidu. Sinakuraledu. Okay. Right, guys. So, good morning, all. So, let's start our session. So, today we are going to be discussing about the Agile Scrum roles. Yesterday, we have discussed about its process, right? So, we have discussed about its process, why we are implementing the Scrum and all these things we have seen. And in the Scrum framework, we are having the three roles are there: the product owner, Scrum Master, Scrum team, and the Scrum ceremonies. We are having sprint planning meeting, sprint review meeting. Just a minute, let me check whether the recording is started now. So here we are using the Scrum ceremony, sprint planning meeting, sprint review meeting, sprint retrospective meeting, as well as daily Scrum meeting. So artifacts, we have the sprint backlog, the sprint product backlog, and the burn down charts. Product backlog items we have seen PVIs, and sprint backlog we have seen. Burn down charts are nothing but it's like a pie chart where we can able to view the other user. That means you can say that one it's like a pie chart in your Excel sheet. How many user stories we completed? How many user stories we have completed? How many user stories we have committed for that particular sprint? How many user stories are completed? How many user stories are still left? By seeing these burn down charts, yes, we can able to view that one. So that is where we are using this burn down charts of this one. So these things we have seen in yesterday's session. So today we will see the roles and responsibilities of the Scrum roles. Now here we have the Scrum role that defines that means he's a product owner. Product owner is your client employee. Okay, client employee product owner is the one who's going to be giving the requirements to you. Defines the features of the product, right? Defines the features of the product, decides what will be built and in which order it has to be built. That means if you can check it out, yesterday I was told you that here these are the PBIs, product backlog items. So these product backlog items, which user story has to be developed first, which user story has to be developed later, that will be decided by your product owner. So he is the one who is going to be giving these user stories. Now, for example, here decides what will be built in which order and decides on release date and content. Okay, we are using the release date and content here. He is the one who is going to do that one, and also responsible for the ROI, profitability of the product. That means which user story has to get developed so that developed first. He will be the one who is going to be deciding it, so that user story, when it was developed, when it is developed here, when we deliver that service to the client, so that should be useful to his company. So that is called your ROI, profitability. ROI means return on investment. That means in this June month sprint, if you are committed to this particular 5 user stories, so those 5 user stories, if you are developed and delivered at the end of this June month sprint, from July 1st onwards, that user stories, that features, that services should be used by the company. So it will be used for their business. So next one, prioritizing the features according to the market value, as per the market competency. As per the market competency, he need to be prioritized. As I said, see, this month, the May 1st to May 31st, these 5 user stories he's committed. So before we start the next month sprint, from June month sprint, so he will be prioritized from the remaining user stories, which will be built first, which will be built later. That he will be prioritized this month. That is why it is his responsibility to prioritizing the remaining user stories before we start the next month sprint here. This course, please. It will be decided by your Scrum team. We'll go to this course. If it is a complex user stories are there, so based on its complex user stories, you can take it 3 also. 3, 4, 5, anything. Because based on your capacity here, that your Scrum team can able to be delivered. Okay, user stories, ee month lo spend deliver cheyagalemo ani meeru Scrum team decide avute. Even you can take it 10 user stories also. కానీ ఒకసారి మీరు యూజర్ స్టోరీస్ తీసుకున్నారంటే ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ ద మంత్ మీరు అది డెలివర్ చేయగలరు. అందుకని అది ఆలోచించి తీసుకుంటారు. ఓకే, బై విత్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ యూ విల్ బి గెటింగ్ దాట్. నెక్స్ట్ వన్, adjust the features and priority every iteration as needed, accept or reject the work results. Yesterday I was told you. So once you are giving the Scrum team members are giving the demo of the user stories in the sprint review meeting. So if the product owner likes your work, he will be accepting. If it doesn't likes your work, he will be rejecting. Clear? The next one, accept or reject work results and partly plays as a role of traditional project manager for the business stakeholders on providing the updates and the communications on the ongoing. That means partly plays a role of traditional project manager. I mean to say that these people, that means the product owner, he is going to be updating the things to the client. That means he's the boss. Suppose product owner is a client employee. Suppose now I am the product owner. I am the client. I am the employee of the HDFC. Suppose we are developing a project for the HDFC bank. So I am the client. I am the employee of the HDFC. So I am going to be updating the things. Suppose Kapil IT is developing the project for the Kapil IT is developing the project. Kapil IT is developing the project for the HDFC. Clear? So when it was happened, what happens? The Kapil IT, when it was developing when it is developing the project for HDFC, so the product owner is working with the Kapil IT at his location, and he is going to be updating. So how much project, how many user stories have been developed so far? So I am the product owner. I'm going to be explain to my HDFC, my management people that these are the updates of the current project which we are developing. So those things is going to be mentioned. Clear? The next one, the Scrum role, Scrum Master. So Scrum Master is a person who is going to be explaining to, represents the management to the project. Okay, represents management to the project, responsible for enacting the Scrum values and practices. That means the Scrum Master is a person who is going to be trained you about the Scrum. What is meant by Scrum? How we are going to be implementing the Scrum in the project. With the implementation of the Scrum, how your project will be getting productivity.
Scrum and lightweight.
Lightweight.
Framework.
Framework. Agile methodology lo is framework. Agile methodology with 5 frameworks ఉన్నాయి. Scrum, Kanban, Lean programming, pair programming, safe. Okay. సో దాంట్లో ఒక ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్ అనమాట. ఈ ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్ ని మనం యూజ్ చేసి ప్రాజెక్ట్ డెవలప్ చేస్తాం. దీంట్లో ఏంటి అంటే మనకి క్లయింట్ కి ఫ్లెక్సిబిలిటీ ఉంది. సో ఐ కెన్ కమ్ అప్ అండ్ గివ్ ద న్యూ రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ ఈవెన్ ఆఫ్టర్ ద డెవలప్మెంట్ ఇస్ స్టార్ట్. డెవలప్మెంట్ స్టార్ట్ అయిన తర్వాత కూడా వచ్చి రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ ఇవ్వచ్చు. ఇన్ దాట్ కేస్ వాట్ హ్యాపెన్, ద సక్సెస్ రేట్ ఆఫ్ ద ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఈస్ మోర్. The success rate of the project is when we are implementing the Agile Scrum methodology, we are getting, that means the project is getting success more than 90%. That is why most of the software organizations and most of the clients also wants their projects to be get developed using Agile Scrum methodology. Until man Agile Scrum అనేది use చేస్తారు. In interview, definitely they are going to be asking the questions on this. So they'll be asking, so which methodology you are using in your recent project and another. So a project, I mean, a methodology use chesaru, a project use chesaru, a methodology use chesaru my previous project lo. So in that case, you need to be mentioned that yes sir, we have used the Agile Scrum methodology. And in that case, he will be asking, so what is your Scrum team size? What is your sprint size? ఇవన్నీ కూడా అడుగుతారు. వాట్ ఈస్ మెథడాలజీ, ఎలా యూజ్ చేస్తారు, ఎలా డిస్ట్రిబ్యూటెడ్ టీమ్స్ తో కమ్యూనికేట్ అవుతారు. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ ద క్వశ్చన్స్ దే విల్ బి ఆస్కింగ్. సో ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయినింగ్ ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్, దట్ విల్ బి క్వైట్ ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్. అండ్ రిమూవ్ ఇంపెడిమెంట్స్. ఇంపెడిమెంట్స్ ఇన్ ద సెన్స్ problems, issues, roadblocks. We used to be calling those things are roadblocks. Clear? So here it is removes the impediments. For example, the Scrum team members are there. Suppose let us assume that a scrum master is there in this one. Okay, the scrum master is there. In that scrum master, suppose now one of the scrum team member is facing the issue. That means his laptop is getting some issue. His laptop is getting some problem. Network is not working, or firewall is not working. Firewall issue is there, or some kind of a problem. The laptop is too slow. So when his team member is facing this kind of an issue, the scrum master is a person who is going to be removes those problems. A problems ఏవైతే వాళ్ళు ఫేస్ చేస్తున్నారో ఆ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ని స్క్రమ్ మాస్టర్ ని అతను రిజాల్వ్ చేస్తారు. Okay, ensure that the team is fully functional and productive. That means make sure that all the time the team members should be focused on the user stories they have committed. A particular month ki user stories ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో వాళ్ళు ఏదైతే కమిట్ అయ్యారో ఆ 5 యూజర్ స్టోరీస్ ఏవైతే కమిట్ అయ్యారో అవన్నీ కూడా దాని మీద వర్క్ చేసేటట్టుగా, దాని మీద ఫోకస్డ్ గా వర్క్ చేసేటట్టుగా దే ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు బి వర్కింగ్ ఆన్. ఓకే, enable the close cooperation across all roles and the functions. So enable close cooperation across all roles and the functions. That means he will be closely working with the scrum team. He will be closely work. That means the scrum master is closely work with your scrum team members. Scrum master is closely working with your resource managers. The scrum master is closely working with your product owner. So like this one, he is working with the multiple roles. And scrum master is working with the multiple scrum teams. ఇప్పుడు ఒక ప్రాజెక్ట్ స్క్రమ్ టీమ్ మెంబర్స్ ఒకే స్క్రమ్ టీమ్ తో వర్క్ చేస్తారని కాదు. He will be working with the multiple scrum teams, okay, throughout the day. Next one, shield the team from external interferences. That means he is the one who is going to be protecting the team members, the scrum team members, from the external person. Suppose now a product owner is coming. Suppose you are the scrum team members. So product owner is coming and giving you the additional work. We're already 5 user stories commit here. And product owner మళ్ళీ ఒక ఫస్ట్ వీక్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత వచ్చేసి మళ్ళీ ఇంకొక 3 యూజర్ స్టోరీస్ మీకు ఇచ్చాడు, ఇంకోటి కంప్లీట్ చేయండి. సో అలాంటివి జరగకుండా స్క్రమ్ మాస్టర్ అనే అతను స్క్రమ్ టీమ్ ని ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేస్తారు. ఓకే, facilitating the daily scrum meeting. Daily scrum meeting will be facilitated by the scrum master. Daily scrum meeting ఉంది మనకి, నేను స్క్రమ్ సర్వీస్ చదువుకున్నాం. సో డైలీ స్క్రమ్ మీటింగ్ ఇట్ ఇస్ 15 minutes meeting. That meeting will be conducted by the scrum master. Okay, a daily scrum meeting ఎవరెవరు ఉంటారు? The daily scrum meeting we are having the scrum master, scrum team. Next one, here the scrum team or a project team or a development team, anything you can call it. So typically 3 to 9 people. Earlier it was, when it was started, it is 3 to 9 people, but now it is changed to 7 to 9 people. Minimum 7. Minimum 3 unte saripayadu. But when the scrum has been implemented vastly here, so what happens? It has increasing the number 7 to 9 members. So దీంట్లో మనకి ఎవరెవరు ఉంటారు స్క్రమ్ టీమ్ లో? UI designers, developers, testing team, database team. Okay, so teams are self-organizing, self-managing, ideally no titles. There is no seniors, there is no juniors in this one. Membership should change only between the sprints. Okay, అంటే స్ప్రింట్ లో ఇప్పుడు మే ఫస్ట్ వీక్ స్టార్ట్ అయిపోయింది, ఇప్పుడు జూన్ ఫస్ట్ వీక్ అనుకుందాం. జూన్ ఫస్ట్ వీక్ స్ప్రింట్ అయిపోయింది, ఇంకా 3 weeks ఉన్నాయి. కానీ ఒకవేళ ఎనీ టీమ్ మెంబర్ ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు రీప్లేస్ ఇట్, ఒకవేళ తనకి ఈ ప్రాజెక్ట్ తను పర్ఫార్మెన్స్ సరిగ్గా చేయట్లేదు, తను ఏం చేస్తారు? అతన్ని వేరే టీమ్ లోకి మూవ్ చేయాలి అంటే నెక్స్ట్ స్ప్రింట్ లోనే చేంజ్ చేస్తారు. అంటే జూలై మంత్ స్ప్రింట్ లోనే చేంజ్ చేస్తారు, అంతేగాని జూన్ మంత్ స్ప్రింట్ లోనే చేంజ్ చేయాలన్నమాట. మెంబర్షిప్ షుడ్ చేంజ్ బిట్వీన్ ద స్ప్రింట్, నాట్ డ్యూరింగ్ ద స్ప్రింట్. ఓకే, సో దీస్ ఆర్ అబౌట్ యువర్ స్క్రమ్ రోల్స్ అండ్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీస్ హియర్. ఓకే, సో వీ హ్యావ్ సీన్ ఆల్రెడీ దిస్ వన్. వాట్ ఈస్ మీన్ బై స్ప్రింట్? స్ప్రింట్ అంటే ఒక సైకిల్, 2 to 4 weeks of sprint size it is. So we are developing the projects using the sprints. Write down all those points. Screenshot తీసుకున్నా పర్లేదు, లేకపోతే రాసినా పర్లేదు. The thing is, after this, in this one, the product will be designed, coded, and tested, and the duration will be 2 to 4 weeks of sprint. These are already we have learned. When you choose a product backlog meetings. Okay. So this is about your Scrum. The next one we are having Kanban here. This Kanban methodology. Kanban means another framework. It is like a whiteboard here, guys. That is nothing but here we are having white dashboard. White dashboard along Kanban board. Okay. We are having the Kanban board like this. So we are having the user stories like here. See guys here, user stories, to-do list, in progress, testing, and the done. So these 5 columns are there. So Kanban is a Japanese word. Kan means visual, ban means board, visual board we used to be calling. So in every Scrum team, we are having this Kanban board will be there. Okay. In Scrum team, we are having this Kanban board will be there. And this Kanban board, Kanban is a more popular framework which is used to be implementing your Agile Scrum development. It requires the real-time communication of capacity and full transparency of the work. With this Kanban board, everyone will be having the transparency that who is working among the team members, who is working on which task. ఎవరు ఏ టాస్క్ మీద పని చేస్తున్నారు దాని స్టేటస్ ఏంటి అనేది మొత్తం కూడా ఐడెంటిఫై చేయొచ్చు అన్నమాట. We can easily identify that. So for that transparency to be maintained, so we are using this Kanban board. So Kanban board is an agile project management tool designed to be help the visualizing the work and limit the work in progress and maximizing the efficiency here, guys. But means if you can check it out, we can easily identify who is working on the user stories and what is its status. To-do list. Suppose now this week we are committing these user stories need to be get completed. So anyone they can take it from here and they start working on that team member. And once this task has been get completed, he will be keeping that one for the testing. Development when testing. So testing team people start testing this one. Once testing is get completed, it is moving from testing to the done status. By seeing this one, we can easily identify how many user stories are completed. Any user stories complete chesamo, any user stories unnayani man easy ga identify cheyochu. Clear? The next one like this one. So by seeing this one, Kanban board, user stories, to-do list, in progress, testing, done status. So these things we are going to be using. Okay, here we are going to be using this one. Advantages of this Kanban board here is keeps the task organized, reduction of the wasted work. Okay, so we can able to be keep the things to be organized, reduction of the wasted work, share the boards for the collaboration here, right? Track the production of task in real time. Right, here we are going to be using task productions for the task. టెస్ట్ చేస్తాం కదా ప్రొడక్షన్ సర్వర్ లో మూవ్ చేసిన మళ్ళీ టెస్ట్ చేస్తాం స్టేజింగ్ సర్వర్ లో. అక్కడ టెస్ట్ కంప్లీట్ అయిన తర్వాతే ప్రొడక్షన్ సర్వర్ లోకి మూవ్ చేస్తాం, అదర్వైజ్ మూవ్ చేయదు. ఎందుకంటే ఆల్ ద ఇష్యూస్ హావ్ బీన్ రిజాల్వ్డ్, దెన్ ఓన్లీ వీఆర్ మూవింగ్ ఇన్ టు ద మేక్ ఇట్ పబ్లిక్. ఓకే, సో ఇక్కడ ఏం చేస్తున్నారు, ట్రాక్ ప్రొడక్షన్ ఆఫ్ టాస్క్ ఇన్ రియల్ టైం అంటే ఏంటి అంటే, సో ప్రొడక్షన్ సర్వర్ లో డిప్లాయ్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఏమైనా ఇష్యూస్ వచ్చాయి, మళ్ళీ ఆ ఇష్యూస్ ని డెవలప్ చేసిన తర్వాత కోడ్ చేంజెస్ చేసి మళ్ళీ టెస్టింగ్ చేస్తారు. ఆ టెస్టింగ్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఆ టెస్ట్ కేసెస్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేసేసి ఆ టెస్ట్ కేసెస్ పాజిటివ్ పాస్ అవుతేనే దెన్ దే ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు బి మూవ్ ఇట్ టు ద అగైన్ ఇన్ టు ద ప్రొడక్షన్ సర్వర్. అది ఓకే, సో విచ్ ఈస్ increases your productivity, increase your efficiency, team members ability to be focused on this one. So here these are all the advantages what we have with this Kanban board implementation, Kanban framework. Kanban అంటే ఏమీ లేదు, ఇది ఒక వైట్ బోర్డు ఉంది. ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఇక్కడ టీవీ ఎలా ఉందో బిగ్ టీవీ, అలాగే మనకి Kanban బోర్డు ఇలా వైట్ బోర్డ్ ఇలా ఉంటుంది. వైట్ బోర్డ్ లో ఆ కాలమ్స్ అన్ని యాడ్ చేసేసి దెన్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు బి పేస్ట్ ఇట్ లైక్ దిస్. సో హియర్ ఇఫ్ యూ కెన్ చెక్ ఇట్ అవుట్, రియల్ టైమ్ లో ఏం చేస్తాం అంటే వీ కెన్ ఏబుల్ టు బి పుట్ లైక్ దిస్, ప్రింట్అవుట్ తీసేసి వీ కెన్ ఏబుల్ టు బి ప్లేస్ ఇట్ లైక్ దిస్. సో ఎవరు వర్క్ చేస్తున్నారు, ఏ టాస్క్ ఎవరు వర్క్ చేస్తున్నారు ఏంటి అనేది we can able to be paced like this one. We can easily identify. Okay, only the first project you people will be facing some difficulty, ఎందుకంటే అది మీరు ఫస్ట్ టైం మీరు ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేస్తున్నారు కాబట్టి it is very much new to you all. But once you understand that one and understanding and implementing this thing, you can easily understand, easily remember, and you can easily execute that on this. Okay, so DevOps life cycle will start చేద్దాం అనుకున్నాను, బట్ థింగ్ ఇస్ ఎవరు లేరు కదా, only 2 members are there. What we can do? So you guys here, DevOps life cycle. So far we have seen that the Agile Scrum methodology as well as waterfall methodology. Waterfall methodology, the client flexibility label. So in waterfall methodology, client is not having any flexibility. And here the client is not having any flexibility in that one. Clear? And the next one, the client is not having the flexibility in your waterfall methodology. And the next thing is here we are having the problems, everything is manual in that one waterfall model. So the success rate of the project is very much less. That is why they have migrated towards a new methodology. They have been started Agile methodology. In that Agile methodology, success rate of the project is more than 90%, and the client is having the flexibility, and the client can able to be give the requirements even after the development has been started. So that as per the market competency, the client is allowed to be give the new requirements even after the development has been started. You can come up and give the new requirements. Fine. In that case, it is working. So in this Agile methodology, we can design your application, develop your application, test your application. Designing, development, testing అయిపోయింది, కానీ డిప్లాయ్మెంట్ వచ్చేసరికి స్లో అవుతుంది మళ్ళీ. సో ఆ డిప్లాయ్మెంట్ కూడా స్పీడప్ అవడానికి మనకి DevOps మెథడాలజీ అనేది యూజ్ చేస్తాం. సో in today's marketplace, it is required the rapid product development based on the customer feedback. That means based on the customer as per the market competency, we require the applications to be developed faster. So for that purpose, that means any feedback or requirement to respond quickly to the market shift. That means as per the market is keep changing, we need to be quickly responding to that and developing the new services as per that. The next one, it is no longer suitable to wait for 1 year to add more features in the next release, which in turn also creates extra pressure on the IT team to release a new version swiftly. So earlier case, after the development has been completed, then we are going to be adding the more number of features in this one. But now it is not that case. We don't need to be wait for 1 year. Every month we are adding the new services to the existing applications here. So the DevOps movement arouses out the critical need here for organizations engaged in continuous development and response more quickly to the changes. That means here DevOps is a software development approach which synthesizes here development and operations to achieve agility. That means speed. Agility means speed. So here this DevOps which we are implementing in your software development, which is helping us to be make your development becomes faster as well as your operations also becomes faster, so that whatever the new services which we are developing, we can able to be implementing that one into the, that means we can deploy it into the production server so quickly here. So DevOps is an evolving philosophy and framework which encourages the faster, better application development and the faster release of the new or the revised software features or the products to customers. That means with this DevOps methodology, it's a feature, it's a culture, it's a methodology, so which is helping us to be developing your application faster, better applications we can develop, and high quality softwares we can able to be delivered to the end users, to your client in a less time. That is why if you can see any of the services or we are using, whether it is a banking domain or a telecom domain or e-commerce domain, we are developing our applications quite fast. Okay, every month we are getting the new services, right? The next one, if you can see, DevOps is one of the hottest trends in the software industry, and successful DevOps implementation is the goal of the most progressive IT organization. This is one of the point here, guys. DevOps is adopted by many organizations. Every year it is keep increasing. Why? Because with the implementation of the DevOps, we are getting the more productivity in your organizations here, guys. So the successful implementation of your DevOps is the main goal of your many successful IT organizations. In any company, any project they are using, they are developing. So there they have implementing these DevOps. That is the main success factor for them, for the progressive IT organization. That means the organizations who have been implementing the DevOps, they are getting a more success in the projects. So here in this one, where you can see this one here, DevOps, various tools we are going to be using in the phase. Now, if you can check it out here, guys. So we are planning your application. After that, we have code. Then we have build your application, test your application, release, deploy your application, and operate, and then monitor your application. When you are getting any bugs, again, we plan code. This is continuously done. So in every phase, we are using the different automation tools we are using. We are going to be learn all these tools here. I was told you in the demo. So these are the tools we are going to be using this. So here, if you can check it out, these are the 7 C's of your DevOps lifecycle. We used to say stages of your DevOps lifecycle: continuous development, continuous integration, continuous testing, deployment, monitoring, feedback, and operations. Okay. So these things I'm going to be explained tomorrow. Okay. That's all for the day. And I'm sending this document to you before you are coming to the tomorrow class. I want you to go through this and talk.